I gotta watch all the Marvel cartoons now because I watched all the DC ones. I gotta watch the Marvel ones.
Oh yeah, before X-Men 97 came out, I rewatched the entire animated series.
Yeah. I'm gonna go back and watch every single so I'm doing 90s, all the 90s. I'm doing Earth's Mightiest Heroes. Never seen Wolverine and the X-Men, so I'm kind of gonna watch that.
I
Gotta
watched
watch
that
gotta
a
watch
few months
Evolution
ago.
again. Watch Evolution again.
I rewatched Evolution recently too. No, I rewatched Evolution. I rewatched Wolverine and the X-Men. It's God. I mean, they're all good. They're all good.
Yeah, there's so many bang. I gotta watch Spectacular Spider-Man too because I haven't seen Spectacular Spider-Man since it's aired. Hail Red.
Oh my God, I love Spectacular Spider-Man.
Yeah, I remember I like what I saw of it, but I was always a 90s Spider-Man guy just because I had the DVDs that I would rewatch all the time. I actually have some of those. I've been slowly collecting them. I almost have every DVD of Spider-Man that they put out.
Really?
With like the half, I will get them. Hold on.
I haven't rewatched Spider-Man the Animated Series in a while. I've not seen the 90s show in a while. But I used to watch it all the time. Like it would come on Toon Disney and stuff. It was good.
Yeah, so I have Ultimate Villain Showdown, which I don't remember which episodes this one has. It's Green Goblin, Doc Ock, and Kingpin.
Oh, that's so cool, man.
Spider-Man and Doc Ock. Spider-Man versus Doc Ock. This one has the one where he loses his memory and the little kid has to get him to remember or whatever. Daredevil. This was a frequent rental for me. Daredevil versus Spider with the Daredevil episodes. Gotta have it. And this one especially has the Daredevil episode of Fantastic Four when he was on that show, the Fantastic Four cartoon. It has it in the special features, and I have the X-Men one too. I think this is the only X-Men DVD they put out. I'm not sure. This one has the Nightcrawler episode on it.
Yeah, I just remember I used to watch all the animated stuff. Like obviously I saw it on Fox Kids first because that's what it originally aired on. But then it was on Toon Disney constantly. And I remember just watching it over and over and over again. And
yeah, for me it was renting DVDs or the X-Men VHS tapes that they had at Pizza Hut. We had some of those. I wish I would have kept them, but I don't have them anymore. But
so yeah. I might get some hate in the chat for this, but screw it. Does anyone kind of miss pre-MCU Marvel?
Well, of course. That's not a hate thing. One of the I can't show it, but one of the posters I have on my wall is that Marvel poster where they're all lined up, but it's the classic one from before the MCU came out, where everyone is the X-Men are front and center, right? And it's people who would be in the front now are way in the background, where it's who cares? That I collect a lot of the stuff I collect is stuff that's from the 2000s, the when Ultimate stuff was cool. It was the Ultimates is great, or stuff like that. Yeah, there's no people like MCU stuff and early MCU especially, but there's that nostalgia. Everyone has that nostalgia for that stuff that they saw growing up. I saw a tweet not too long ago. I retweeted it where it was it was just you had to be there, and it was all the Ultimate stuff. So it was the superhero Spider-Man candy sticks. It was Ultimate Wolverine and Hulk and Spider-Man. It was all that stuff. It's man, those were everywhere back then.
I could spend a couple of hours just talking about the Ultimate Universe. What a great idea. What a great concept that just went so off the rails towards the end.
And if you go to the Universal Island of Adventure, they have a Marvel Island at Universal, right? Because they made the deal with Marvel to make that theme park. And it's like they have like full rights to all, they have full rights to like the X-Men and like Hulk and like all this stuff. And so the only legal thing they have is they cannot change it from what they have. They cannot update any of their stuff to be modern Marvel stuff. So you go down there, it's all 2000s
Oh, that's
Marvel.
cool.
And it's just like, oh, like Storm is in the old like white suit and Rogue is like classic outfit. And it's like, I could probably pull that up. And so like Disney has an Avengers thing, right? But they can't use Marvel in the name. It's Avengers Campus. Because Universal has the rights for Marvel. It's crazy. It's a crazy like thing.
Yeah, something about pre-MCU Marvel just really hits different. I don't know. It just, to me, it almost seems more pure. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like it just seems more comic booky.
Yeah, so whereas this is a walkthrough. So like Iceman over here, big Iceman.
Oh, that's so cool, dude.
Like Magneto down here. Can't tell who this is. Or I think this is Baron Zemo, I think. Arnim Zola, I mean. MODOK over here, but it's like old comic art because they're legally cannot update the art. They only can like spend money on upkeep to keep everything running and clean and stuff, but like they cannot change the art around.
Good. Don't change it. Don't ever change it.
So yeah, so you go there and it's just like it's the 2000s again. Like look at that. Yeah, it was Magneto. It was an action shot of Magneto. That's what it was. Like Ultimate Cap over here. Like, or not even Ultimate Cap, it is normal Cap. He just looks like Ultimate Cap. Like classic Thor, classic Iron Man, pre-MCU Iron Man. You don't see him anymore. There's Storm up here on this comics thing. Look at that classic Spider-Man, classic Doc Ock.
Classic Spider-Man hits so different.
Like that font with that spiky font, like in the 90s show. Electro is on here. Like it's crazy. Like I said, that'd be the one thing where it's like I would go there. Like this big Wolverine with his claws in the ground. Like,
dude. Oh man, we're never gonna live in a time. We're never gonna live in a time like this again.
Well, I mean, like legally, you can always live in a time like this all the time. You just go back.
Like, yeah, but I mean, like we really took it for granted. Like this used to be what it was like everywhere.
Yeah. Doctor Doom's Fearfall. Like I had a tape that was like advertisement to like go to Universal Studios. And I used to watch the Marvel part all the time, and they're advertised like Doctor Doom's Fearfall, and there's like a Ben Grimm, or no, there's like a teacup ride, but it's like storms, like tornadoes or something like that. So you're in like tornadoes that spin instead of little teacups. And then they have like Easter eggs, like they have like a bank, Blaze and Ketch, and those are Ghost Riders. Johnny Blaze and Danny Ketch, I believe, is the other Ghost Rider. There's also like Donald Blake's, medical office, which is Thor's, alter ego, stuff like that, like the little, like that fun theme park stuff. And the Avengers campus has that Gladiators costume shop, but like just having this old Marvel stuff is just because this is X-Men, this is Fantastic Four, Avengers stuff is just, it's like, yeah, we know the Avengers, but you're here for what was cool back then. Hulk, Spider-Man, X-Men, Fantastic Four, right? Like, we didn't care about Iron Man back then. Like back in that thing when they showed like Captain America and Thor, right? Like Captain America's really big, Thor's kind of tiny, and then Iron Man's really small. Like, look at this Wolverine.
It's beautiful, man.
Yancey Street.
I gotta get a time machine. I gotta go. I
Look
gotta
at,
go. I
look
gotta
at
go
this
back.
giant
Yo,
kingpin throwing a bunch of money out at you to be like, spend your money at the arcade. But there's Marvel games back here. The Fantasticar. Sit in the Fantasticar. Look at that.
oh my god.
Fantastic car. Look at this big
Oh yeah,
the Fantastic
oh.
Four cafe. Giant Johnny Storm flying.
Yo, man, it's just
There's a thing over there. And I know they have like the costume parade where everyone dresses up. Like yeah, there's Reed and Sue and Johnny's flying and he flies and gets really big on the other side. That's cool. You know, your merch. Which like and I think even the merch is dated too because they can't sell new stuff. So you'd get like old 2000s merch looking merch. It'd be crazy. Yeah, there's the Storm ride over there. Storm Force. It's like a little teacup ride, I think. Oh, this is the Hulk ride. This big ride they were on. That's the Hulk. Look at this big Hulk. He's breaking the ride in half. Yeah, there's Storm. Like, so you're talking about winning the money and going down. Like, this is where I would go. I would go here and I'd go to Avengers Campus. Just be like, I don't care about that other Disney stuff. I don't care about that Harry Potter stuff, that Star Wars stuff. Take me. Look at these.
oh, dude,
X-Men.
I'd love to go to this place.
Yeah, look at this Hulk.
Yo, Summer Swan. Who in the chat is gonna hate on Jessica's?
Well, you had said about like, oh, this might get me hate. So about the I think it was the MCU, pre-MCU stuff.
I'm like the lofty pixels of this part of the internet. I get on. It's like, actually, I have a contrary opinion to this.
There's like I think a giant Silver Surfer right here. Maybe. I know there's that's a giant Silver Surfer right there. Yeah, that's just so cool. I wonder if we can if they have the cosplayers. I know there's a picture of them.
Yeah, I would definitely love to go on vacation down there sometime.
And it's like it's right next to everything, right? Like it's still in Orlando. And then you still have everything that's Universal has, like the Harry Potter world and all that, but it would just be like, you know, I want to see the classic people.
I'm going to be real with you, dog. I think that I think Universal, as far as theme parks go, is actually superior to Disney.
Well, there's just this new thing, Marvel Superhero Island possibly closing.
No.
We just found out about it.
No, you can't do this to me.
Why'd you show me something if I can't have it?
Yo, man, I go down there to take a vacation and I walk there and it's closed and it's like, you can't do this to me.
You know how much I
sacrificed for this.
So here's like Cyclops and Rogue, and this is some old Cyclops design here. This is Uncanny X-Men.
Yo,
right?
dog.
And like I've seen like there's blue suit Cyclops with like the 90s. I've seen that one in pictures too. You know, but like stuff like that, like it's just like it's crazy.
This is the Marvel I grew up with.
I feel like especially now they're not going to close down because get the X-Men 97 so big, get the 90s costumes out there. Like people want to take a picture with Rogue now, right? People want to take a picture with 90 Cyclops and Wolverine. Like kids are going to know these characters again. You got to keep Marvel Island of Adventures going. Like you've got to, you know. But yeah, so here's a okay, so that is the Cyclops. There was the here's the other costumes you can see on the park. I feel like I've seen the White Storm outfit though, but like, yeah. So this is like they walk around and they like drive around on like 4-wheelers and stuff too. I've seen. Um, yeah, they comic accurate short Wolverine. Come on,
Dude, that's so cool.
the cuffs on Captain America's boots and like, come on. And he's got his Ultimates like logo on his arm too.
Man, I miss old Marvel. Fucking MCU.
Yeah.
Fucking MCU.
I mean, even then, like X-Men 97 kind of gave you that old Marvel back a little bit.
Yeah, it did.
Can't hate it. Can't hate that.
Oh, speaking of which, do you think they're going to do a continuation of the Spider-Man animated series?
I feel like they're like, because technically they resolved that plot point. The cliffhanger has been resolved. We just don't know what the resolution was. But Peter and MJ are in X-Men 97, right? Like,
yeah, but we need to see how it happened.
Yeah. Give me like you know what the cut plot was? Like what the resolution was going to be?
Oh, I saw a video about it couple of years ago. And
Mary Jane goes to like classic London, and so does Carnage, and Carnage becomes Jack the Ripper, and so they gotta like find Spider-Man goes around in like Victorian London to try to find Mary Jane. He fights Carnage in Victorian London.
You can't tell me somebody wasn't high when they came up with that.
But like that's just crazy. Like I don't even know if that's crazy 90s. That's just like that's just weird in general. But it's also kind of cool though. I can kind of get with it. There's a YouTuber that I watch, Godzilla Mendoza. He actually did a 90s Spider-Man sequel comic. That he only did one issue of it. He got like his friends to like do it and did all that. And it's pretty good. He tries to tie in all the other stuff together. And it ends with him, because he travels into the multiverse, right? It ends with him in Spider-Man Unlimited. And the cliffhanger is like the one with like the Spider-Man with the weird animal people.
Yeah.
So the cliffhanger is that, and he's like, "What's going on here?" And then it's been like 4 or 5 years, and they never did issue 2. It's like, come on.
Yeah, for the longest time, I thought Spider-Man Unlimited was in the same continuity.
It was sorta, kinda, but then it's not. Like, I think they took a lot of the concepts of what the new season was going to be and just kind of twisted it, and then we're like a new show. I feel like I've watched episodes, but I've never given it a full-on watch because it's on concept alone kind of rough. Like, you want to talk about things shaking down the timeline? I think that show only was how it is because of Batman Beyond. That was meant to be a Batman Beyond killer, right?
Oh yeah,
like, give us a Batman Beyond, so it's Spider-Man. But like, if instead of Spider-Man Unlimited, what if that was a Spider-Man 2099 show? Like,
yeah,
there was no reason why you couldn't have done that.
No, a couple of years back, I went to watch the Spider-Man Unlimited. I was like, you know what? I remember this show. Let me check it out again. I couldn't get past the first couple of episodes. I was like, I forgot how weird this shit is.
Yeah, it's like Goblin is a good guy. He's voiced by the voice of Spider-Man. Like,
yeah, I'm just like,
who then later plays Batman in the Batman.
I'm just like, I've got other things to watch. This is just too weird. I mean, that's saying something because it's comic books, and comic books have some very weird storylines. But, I was like, I'm not feeling this, man. I'm just not feeling this. But, no. So speaking of weird comic book lines, I was talking about the Ultimate Universe earlier. I don't know about you, but like the Ultimate Universe when it first started was actually like my favorite line of comics. And then just as time went on, I don't know what happened to the Ultimate Universe. It just got so weird.
Yeah. Have you seen the new Ultimate stuff?
No, I haven't.
So they're rebooting the Ultimates, right? Like they're redoing it.
Yeah, I heard about that. Yeah.
Fixing the timeline, basically. Like the evil Reed Richards has remade the timeline. So Ultimate Spider-Man, people really enjoy because it's Spider-Man who is married to Mary Jane and he has kids and he's still Spider-Man. And they're not doing what they've done to modern Spider-Man in the comics, which is everything but that. I don't know if you know what's happening to modern Spider-Man, like normal
Here,
616 Spider-Man.
here comes Mephisto to screw it all
So
up.
like not even that. Like he goes into like another dimension / like coma or whatever. Mary Jane is just with another guy who has kids and who's apparently
Fuck.
this great guy. Like if you bring up the name Paul to comic book Spider-Man fans, like they will be seething with rage because it's basically like Paul is this like written to be great guy. Mary Jane loves him and Spider-Man has nobody. And it's just like they're like, why'd you not do it? Right. And then yeah, so then there's I've apparently also he's gonna get with like Peter might get with Betty, Brant, right? That might
That
be a thing that they
that
do.
was a thing in one of the old
Yeah, so like they're
Spider-Man.
basically reigniting that. Like that was I think where
Yeah.
one of the issues ended off recently. But anyway, so Ultimate Spider-Man though, they're like the whole point of that very first book was literally like fuck all that. Like there's like we're not like these guys over there at regular Marvel messing all that up. Like the guy who does Ultimate Marvel now is just like I'm getting put in charge of everything and I'm doing it. And so he's just literally like Ultimate Spider-Man. It's like here's everything. Here's married Spider-Man with MJ and kids and um there's they did like variant covers that were all like parodies of um classic Spider-Man titles, but it's all with like MJ and Peter.
So, so if it's the Ultimate Universe, Peter died in the Ultimate Universe.
So that's the thing. So evil Reed Richards, right, the maker, basically like rebooted the entire Ultimate Universe. And because there's been like Ultimatum since then where they brought the Ultimate Universe stuff into 616 and they had like Miles is in there and they had
Yeah,
like
I thought they merged the universes.
they're like they kind of realized like, hey, having a separate universe that we can do whatever we want in kind of a good idea. So they're just doing that. So yeah, here's like Ultimate Spider-Man #1. And it's just like just this alone, people were like, I'm sold. You got me. Like I don't need anything else.
My man's finally happy.
Like it's literally all it took, right? And there's other variant covers, like this one, and like there's one that parodies the MJ one that people had the issue with where she sits on the couch waiting for Peter to come back, I mean, she's in that weird pose and her legs are all showing, right? And people didn't like that one. There's one they redo of that one, but I can't find. But it's basically like she's on the couch and then like the kids are there and Peter's there and it's like a nice like family picture. But anyway,
so let me ask you this: in this new Ultimate Universe, Peter and Mary Jane are together. Is Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch still together?
Well, I don't know how deep. I haven't fully gone into it, so I'm assuming all the bad stuff about Ultimates is cleared. Speaking of the bad stuff, not really bad.
That shit was dog. That's so. Here's the thing, like that whole plot line. If they wanted to go with that plot line, I'm not against the plot line itself. What got me about it is that everybody in the Marvel universe just accepted it. I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Usually when they go with an incestuous storyline, it's meant to be played up for tragedy. It's not supposed to be a good thing. It's supposed to end tragically. So the fact that everybody just accepted it, I'm like, what the hell's the message here? Like this is.
Here, I'm trying to get a good clean picture. So if you remember, one of the big things that Ultimate Comics changed that 616 went with, right? The MCU went with it too. Do you remember what that was?
A lot of things, because the MCU takes a lot from the Ultimate Universe.
Yeah, but like the 616 used it too, right? It has to do with Nick Fury, right? Nick Fury was not black until the Ultimates, right? And then the Ultimates comes out, and then the MCU takes from it. So the new Ultimates has to kind of change things, flip things around, and make things better. So Nick Fury is back to being white in the new Ultimate Universe.
Whoa! I never thought they would bring back this Nick Fury.
And he's not Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., he's Agent of Hand. So it's like the Hand, the ninjas, he's actually part of them or something.
What?
Like, I don't think the book's even out yet. They're like teasing it. And so they're doing this like white cover because that was the original like Nick Fury Agents of Shield covers. There was like a couple that would have this white spy type look to it. So yeah,
I never thought this Nick Fury would come back.
nope. It was like, especially in the Ultimate Universe, is the thing that invented Black Nick Fury.
Yeah, like literally, like the thing about it is that Ultimate Nick Fury was actually designed based off of Samuel L. Jackson. So when they went to do the MCU, they got Samuel L. Jackson to play Nick Fury.
Yeah, I think that was so I've never been confirmed, but I think it's also that was a rights thing. Like I think Nick Fury was going to sue him, and then they were like he wanted to play it in the movie or something like that. Don't quote me on that, but I've heard that thrown around more than once. They also revealed Black Cat to be in the new Ultimate story.
Is she hot?
And she's actually going to be black.
Interesting.
Which even like EVS has pointed out, not bad. Not really like a bad kind of like idea, I guess. Like I don't think it's Felicia Hardy. It might be, but
I mean, it's an alternate universe, so yeah.
Like I said, like you give me white Nick Fury, you can do whatever you want to anybody else. Like, because I just like that classic Nick Fury. We go back to like pre-MCU Marvel, right? You know, that was the Nick Fury that you saw in everything. You know, you saw that in all those other shows.
To be fair, like that Black Cat, she looks older though. So
well, because Spider-Man is older, so they're like.
Oh yeah. That's right.
Kind of moved everyone up a bit.
Yeah, that's true.
That. So yeah, I don't know. I don't think they're gonna have like a romance thing because if it's not Felicia Hardy and it's not Black Cat who's in love with the mask, you know, all that stuff. So
yeah, because I remember there was a comic book storyline where she found out that he was a teenager,
and she threw up.
Yeah, she was like, "Oh fuck! What?
Yeah.
Oh god!"
Yeah.
Now, see, Marvel, that's how you take a weird relationship and you make it tragic. You don't just have everybody just roll over and accept it.
Well, and then like there was the point that where they dated, right? Like when Spider-Man aged up, you know, and he was adult Spider-Man. They did date. Like she gave him the black suit that he gets after he gets rid of the Venom suit, right? He still wears a black suit because she gave it to him because she liked the black suit on him. But even then, she never liked Peter. She liked Spider-Man. I think she's changed that now because I know there was a point during that whole Spider-Man's in a coma thing where Peter or Black Cat and MJ go on like an adventure together and have a whole like plot with each other. And basically, I think she talks about how she does like Peter, but I don't know. I don't follow that. I just read like Spider-Man fans going like, it's over. You know, we've lost everything. Now there's Spider-Boy. He has his own little Robin, but it's a Robin from like an alternate universe. So he remembers every plot he was there for, but he was never in 616. But he remembers a 616 where he was. And so basically it's like, I was always here. And then he just showed up. And so now it's like, he's literally just like, there's a Spider-Boy and he's here now.
So I'm not against there being situations where the Peter and Black Cat romance happens. Obviously you have to age Peter up.
Which I prefer a college age Peter Parker anyway.
Yeah. But I've always said if they ever do an Amazing Spider-Man 3 movie, it would make sense that Black Cat would be the love interest and not MJ. Because it's even been confirmed in No Way Home, like he became a darker Spider-Man after.
So, yeah, if you believe the rumors, Black Cat will be in Tom Holland's Spider-Man.
Oh, Tom Holland, really?
Yeah, that is the rumor going around right now. And rumor is it's going to be Sydney Sweeney playing Black Cat, but that's just.
I don't know how I feel about that because I feel like if I don't know, like because
I mean I can give you two good reasons why I know. But
well, I just don't see Tom Holland's Spider-Man being interested in Black Cat.
So if depends on how you write it. right? Like it doesn't have to be a love at first sight, like, oh, Black Cat is so great. It's a, um, you know, I'm trying to stop Black Cat from stealing this jewel and she keeps distracting me, like stuff like you can kind of like play with that. Like Spider-Man should have duty first to being like, I must stop this thieving from happening. And then Black Cat always manages to get out of it. Like Red points out in the PS4 game, how, like, oh, I have a son, and and then it's like, oh, is the son my son? Like, and it was all a lie to trick him, right? And so stuff like that, like to kind of, you could do that, and then you could like, here's the movie, Jesker. Tom Holland, Spider-Man, has to stop the Black Cat, right? Who is working for Wilson Fisk. And so he has to, maybe Daredevil gets involved too, but like it's Spider-Man street level, Daredevil, Kingpin, come on. Like print the money, especially if they continue the plot that's set up in the after credit scene where he gets the Venom symbiote and he's black suit Spider-Man. Like, come on. That's what I want.
I don't know. Like, I just always saw Tom Holland's Spider-Man as being a little more, I don't want to say goody two shoes, but he's more, because see, when I think about like Spider-Man ending up with Black Cat, it has to be like at a period in his life where he's like darker, edgier, not necessarily black suit, but
Well,
just.
Well, I mean, it doesn't have to be with Black Cat, but they can just have the flirtatious elements. I don't think they're going to end the movie with them together. I think it'll be like him getting over MJ, and then like Black Cat is here now, like, because otherwise Betty's already been in there, so you can't have Betty Brant, right? There's plenty of random one-off Spider-Man love interests you just introduce and be like, here you go.
Let's bring back what's her name? From Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends.
And Firestar?
Yeah, let's just bring her in. Fuck it.
Well, I say give me Fire. I love Firestar because I used to watch Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends so much.
Oh yeah, I watched it a lot when I was a kid.
She was made for that cartoon. It was going to be Human Torch, but there was the whole you can't use the Human Torch thing.
Yeah.
And so so Firestar is also great, but they never really had a love interest. They were just like friends with each other.
I thought it was confirmed he had a crush on her, and that like she may not have felt the same towards him, but I thought
maybe one episode. But I'm just like, she was never like considered like a love interest, right? She was just a member of the team. I just liked how they made her a mutant that too. I thought that was such a cool like character thing where it's like, yeah, she's a mutant and she goes to the X-Men and all that stuff. And you got to see Spider-Man interacting with the X-Men in that show, and that was just that's something I got to rewatch is Firestar. Firestar and the rest of the New Warriors, so underrated. But yeah, so give me Firestar in MCU. It'll never happen, but it'd be cool. That's another thing in the Ultimates comics that was, I remember people talking about, that was cool. And like the finale of the Ultimate Spider-Man original is like all the Sinister Six pulling up to Peter's house, and then like, yeah, we're gonna kill you. And then like Iceman and Human Torch are there because they were hanging out with Peter, and then they're like, all right, let's go. And then they all like suit, and the like Iceman goes ice and Human Torch goes flame on, and it's like, all right, let's go. Like, let's fight. So they all fight.
They were like, yo, let's do this, dog.
like we're not gonna let you kill Peter. They were like, we're here, let's go. And so it's just like, yeah, like that's I like that friendship. I like
they were like, oh, you want to pull up to you? We'll pull up, we will. Say I do.
Yeah, like I want Human Torch and Spider-Man to be friends in the MCU. Like, give me that. Like the Neversoft Spider-Man game, how you can go to the Baxter building, and if you do it on what if mode, Human Torch actually shows up and you talk for a little bit.
Yeah, I remember too in Ultimate Spider-Man, the video game, Human Torch was in there. Yeah,
he's in there too. Like, I want, like, the Baxter building at least is coming because it's in the Insomniac. It's in Spider-Man 2. The rumblings of the Baxter building. That was so cool to find, because you're not meant to find that, really. There's nothing that points you to that. But if you go up to the what used to be Fisk Tower, if you run all the way up to the top, they're painting a giant white 4 on the top of it. And it's just like, let's fucking go. Like,
Fantastic Four game?
It might be a game, or it's just more world building, but I just want like Human Torch to just show up for like a side quest or something where he's just there. Like, hey, it's Human Torch, Fantastic Four. Like, it's just like I just love Fantastic Four stuff, and I love cameos in other superhero games. Like, do you know in the Ghost Rider game that was made for the movie?
I didn't even know there was a Ghost Rider
It's
game.
a Ghost Rider game. It plays like God of War, like original God of War, where you whip the chains around and you do all that. It also has like driving sections where you go on rails driving on the motorcycle. You can whip demons with your chain and all that. You beat that game, you unlock New Game Plus where you can play through the whole game as Blade.
Yo, that's crazy.
Like, for no reason. It's just like, here you go.
I had no idea this shit even existed.
Yeah, it's for the PS2, I believe is what it's on. Because everything is on the PS2. But
yeah, PS2 had everything. PS2 is the greatest video game console ever made.
But yeah, so there was that Ghost Rider game, that happened. Like the Punisher game has Iron Man in it because you go to Stark Tower,
Yo,
Iron Man is there. Like those superhero. We talk about what we miss. Movie tie-in games.
Yes,
they don't exist anymore.
Well, game development got so damn expensive. Because there's games out here that are costing more than movies to make. That's crazy. But I feel like the entire industry forgot you don't have to develop games that are that fucking intensive.
Yeah.
I was bringing up Square Enix earlier, like how they're having issues. I feel like this is one of the things that Square Enix doesn't understand. Like, dog, you don't have to make these games so expensive to develop. It's like, come on. Like, Final Fantasy 16 and Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth actually sold very well. But according to the latest reports, like, Square was disappointed with how well they sold. And I'm like, well, then stop making.
It's a Red says movie games were rarely good. A few diamonds and a massive pile of crap. That is true. However, you were able to pick up and play a game based on any movie that came out.
Yeah.
Like, I played the Robots game back in the day. I remember playing the Robots game. Like, there's no, like, the last movie tie-in game we got was that crappy Kong one. Like, and that has the spirit of a movie tie-in game by being complete ass, but still, like, imagine a Deadpool and Wolverine movie tie-in game being out right now. Like, where it's like you could play as like both of us. I'm like, it would be so cool. And like, there's been some good movie tie-in games. Like X2 Wolverine Revenge was sort of not a movie tie-in game. It was meant to just be a Wolverine game. And then they put the X2 on the front of it. That's a good one. The best movie tie-in game of all time, especially compared to how crap the movie was, X-Men Origins Wolverine. That game is amazing. That because the movie actually got delayed. So they had more time to work on the game. So they're like, all right, let's just polish the game, make it look nice, and then play nice and all this. And it's our mature game. You can cut people up and you can do bloody and all this. Hugh Jackman plays Wolverine. Like, what more do you need? And that's what everyone's going to look at when Insomniac's game comes out. Spider-Man 1 and Spider-Man 2, right? Spider-Man 3 sucked, but like Spider-Man 1, Spider-Man 2 movie tie-in games. They're good. The MCU games have their like moments. Like Iron Man, I played Iron Man 1. I have Iron Man 1 to play too, but it's like Iron Man's complicated to make a game around. You can do a lot, and I have to play the Thor one. I got to get the Thor one to play it. X-Men Origins was the good God of War games, but with Wolverine. Yeah, like I said, like Ghost Rider is a lot like God of War. X-Men Origins.
Oh, dude, there were so many God of War clones back in the day.
I remember the adage I have is if you're making a superhero game in general, copy a game that works and just do that. Like, I remember fantasy booking a Old Man Logan style or just Wolverine style game that plays like The Last of Us. Like a grounded stealth game that's, like the parts where you're like fighting against humans, like no gunplay, but like when you're sneaking around and you're like stealth kill and like melee combat, but you're Wolverine, right? And it's like that in like a grounded story would just be awesome. Um, there, you do something like that. Like there's so many where, like even like the Arkham games. If you want to make a superhero game, just copy Batman Arkham. That's what Amazing Spider-Man 1 did. Amazing Spider-Man 1 is also good. It's just a copy of Batman Arkham. You just dodge instead of counter.
Don't tell the Marvel fans that. They'll be sad.
Well, like then Insomniac took what Amazing Spider-Man 1 did and they kind of made it its own thing. But if you play Insomniac Spider-Man, still kind of Arkham, just because Arkham was that groundbreaking, where it was like, yeah, do Arkham. I think even that Captain America movie tie-in game, I think also has some Arkham in it too.
Yeah, well, it's just a situation of certain games come out, they set a standard, and they really become a genre in and of themselves. I mean, look at Metroidvanias, for example.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's an entire genre in and of itself.
Where even Batman did in Metrovania. That's
Yep.
the first. That's Batman Arkham in the Metrovania.
Yeah. Like the Souls games, like that's considered its own genre now.
Yep. Which give me a Souls-like superhero game too. Like, and I've explained this, that I've said this before, that my superheroes I have a superhero that has like a Souls-like already kind of like he's basically like he could work in a Souls type environment. So that'd be pretty cool. Like I will eventually make the superhero Souls-like game if it hasn't been done already. We already got Souls or superhero XCOM, that was Midnight Suns, and also Capes, which was done by the people who did Freedom Force. Freedom Force is also kind of like an XCOM, but not really. You got like your superhero Diablo, that's Ultimate Alliance. The / like X-Men Legends, those games. You got those. Just if I like superhero stuff, and just give me more of that. And you were talking about, again, pre-MCU Marvel. What I want to get, but I don't want to spend full money on, is the Marvel versus Capcom fighting game collection. Because there's a lot. That's all pre-MCU Marvel, right? And that's X-Men stuff and old stuff, all that stuff. And I just love that old Marvel nostalgia, stuff.